This is the Spartan Body Mind Podcast. I'm your host, Seth Winterhalter. Today we're talking about deload. What does it mean to take a deload week, maybe a couple weeks in your workout program? That's what we're chatting about. If you are a man and you are trying to get physically, mentally, emotionally fit, we're here to help. I want to encourage you to go check out thespartanprogram.com. All three words put in there, thespartanprogram.com, and see if that program would help you become the man you desire to be. Deload week. What do we mean by a deload week? First, what is a deload week? It is not taking a week off from the gym. That's called taking a week off. Deload is a specific reduction of your current training program. It's a shift of maybe your focus so that you can really get some recovery going on. And so let's actually talk about the purpose. Again, the purpose is to recover. The purpose is to, especially when you're doing a really intense program, maybe you are doing a workout program, one of these 4 to 6 week programs, and you are getting after it. It's nice to take a deload week to just kind of let the muscles recover, make sure you're fully recovering from any, those minor tears, those little things. And this is what I have sucked at this, and it's why my body is so beat up right now. I really need to probably take some weeks off of the gym to really let my body recover. And I have to be better at using deload weeks. The problem is I will tell myself, I haven't been going that hard. And so it's like I almost don't deserve one. So maybe that's you and you have just trouble. It's easy too, if you've been in the gym for a while, for years, it's easy to just go in and do the same things. And it doesn't mean you're not getting after it. You are, but then it's hard to back off. It's hard. You have to really be intentional about going, okay, what does it look like to back off? How am I backing off? What am I doing? And that's what I'm doing right now is because of injury, right? I hurt my back. I pulled it deadlifting a couple weeks ago. It wasn't that bad, but then I didn't deload. I didn't say, you know what? I kind of hurt that. I should really watch how I work out the next couple weeks. Instead, I was like, I just won't deadlift. And I did bent over rows, and I still did some things that just aggravated it and made it really pissed off at me. And now it hurts even when I'm sitting. So I have angered it incredibly. So I have no choice now. Like I can't do any, for this week, I haven't done any horizontal rowing. Everything is vertical. Everything's down to up, because if I do this, it is just over. So, right? Don't wait for what I have done. Don't take my path. Instead, learn from my failure and program some deload weeks. And so what is this? What this is lightening up the load, changing. It's not just lightening up the load. It's also changing the workouts. Being mindful, like for instance, like I know that I can't row. I know that I'm not going to row. I'm not going to do a barbell row because it puts me in a really compromising position on my back. I'm not going to do a horizontal, like seated row. When you pull into your sternum, I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing dumbbell rows. I'm not doing anything where I really put my lower back in a place where I've got to really focus on core activation. I'm going to do things where I almost take out my lower back, work on my upper back, right? So I'll do rear delts. I'll do rows coming from the top down because it's more of a pinch on the lat. It doesn't really activate my lower back. My lower back is pretty unactivated in that because I'm so lat focused. And so that's where, just being really mindful. And in those, I'm not even lightening the weight necessarily. A deload doesn't mean you have to lighten the weight per se. It means that you can do it in numerous ways. You can look at at specific exercises and say, I'm going to take those out for a week and just really, maybe you take out the real complex compound movements and just do really isolated movements for the week. And that way you don't really need to change the weights. You can still lift heavy, but you're really being focused. Or maybe you do dial back a little bit. Maybe you dial back the weight to, 90, 80%, and you really just focus on muscle contraction. and pumping the blood into there instead of muscle failure. That could be it. And so there are different ways to do a deload week when it comes to gym. Also, I would really think about when you deload, you're going to think about nutrition. You don't need then probably all of especially the carbohydrates. You're probably going to keep protein the same, probably keep fat the same, but you probably don't need all the carbohydrates. So you may dial back. It's a great week to just dial back the carbohydrates and come down a little bit in your calories, so that then when you push again, it speeds up metabolism. The body feels full, really starts to push glycogen into the muscles. Sleep, really maximizing sleep. It's a good week to probably not do any cardio, or it could be a week where you do less lifting and more cardio. So again, different ways to strategize, different ways to think about, but the key is you're thinking really in increments. So if I'm going to do a program, I'm probably going to do that program for 4 to 6 weeks. I'm going to do a similar workout. When I go into the gym, I wanted to use the same exercises in the same order so that I'm really seeing growth. I'm adding to the weight so I can really see how I'm increasing, how I'm building muscle. If you just go in and you're makeshift all the time with everything, it's going to be really hard to grow muscle. It's going to be really hard to know how you're increasing, because you won't have any order. You won't have a system that you're able. Because again, for instance, if I go in and I know I'm going to do a lat pull down, I'm going to do a barbell row, I'm going to do a dumbbell row, and I'm going to do a seated row. If I'm going to do those 4 back exercises, but I just do them in different order. Well, the problem is I might have started with a dumbbell, or I might have started with a dumbbell. I might have started with the dumbbell row first one day, and I could row 90s easy, and then I put it third the next day, and I could only row 70s that day. Well, why? Because I was so taxed by the time I got to it, right? And so it's gonna be hard to increase and know, like, how am I actually growing in this exercise? Am I actually helping stimulate the muscle and build the muscle, or am I just going through the motions? So anyway, that's why I would encourage you to do a set program if possible. Do a program for 4 to 6 weeks, and then every at least 6 weeks, 8 weeks max, but every 6 I would do a deload week. And that week you could do the same exercises, just back them off to 80% and go for more of a pump than failure. Go back at it, do another 6 weeks, but always be thinking about how do I let the muscles really recover? Because that's what you're doing when you're building muscle. You're tearing those muscles. That's how you build a muscle. You tear it so it grows, so it increases. If you're not doing deload weeks, you're going to start to, especially as you get older, right? I'm in my 40s now, and so it's easy to really have the tendons start to get tired. And so, right, your elbows, your knees, things start to get tired. So this is where the deload week is probably even more important, so that you're just letting the body recover. So hopefully that encourages you. If you have any questions, go join the free Facebook group, Spartan Body Mind. Search it, look it up, and join the group. And as always, just start a thread. Throw a question in there, throw a comment in there, and would love to help give you some insights. If you're a guy and you want help with your nutrition, with your activity, with your recovery, you say, I got to get my life dialed in, right? It starts with you. You can't be, you're not going to be the best. You're not going to have the best relationships. You're not going to be the best employee or employer if you yourself aren't healthy. And so we've created a 90-day program, the Spartan program, that walks you through how to really dial in yourself so that you can become the best man possible, to be the best husband, to be the best father, to be the best in your work and in your community. And so if that's you and you want that, hit us up, thespartanprogram.com. We'd love to chat. Until next time.